Hey, we are live. Hey, everybody, or hey, family. So, tonight we're doing something pretty special. And Mona and I have been talking about this for a while. And so we are extremely excited. But before we begin, don't forget to like us on Facebook. All right. Be sure to share as well. So, share this podcast with your friends, especially as we go into our countdown. Go ahead and hit that share button. And if you can get to our Facebook page, be sure to subscribe because we're really working to try to
Our
grow
YouTube page.
Did I say Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for listening. Our YouTube, we are really trying to grow that community. So we don't want you to ever miss an episode. So we're going to close out the year by celebrating the voices and the stories and the brilliance of our own community. Because this is the holiday season, as we talk about buying Black and supporting small businesses, there is no better gift than a book. And tonight, we brought together 5 local Black authors and Sula Too Publishing, a local publisher who is shaping the narrative right here in Tampa Bay. So stay tuned, everybody. It's going to be rich.
Black independent, where we speak truth to power, unapologetically.
For too long, the Black vote has been treated like a given, but we're not property. We're not pawns. We are the descendants of those who built this nation. And now, we're demanding tangibles, not tokenism, because the era of blind loyalty is over. This is the Black Independent. Let's get to work.
Let's get to work. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm excited about tonight's episode.
Yeah, me too. So, family, welcome back to We Are Black Independents. In fact, if you look for us, it's not just Black Independents, it's We Are Black Independents. So, did you know November is National Authors and Writers Month? I did not know that. Did you know that?
I did.
Okay. So,
I found
and
out
just this show.
I found out on November the 1st, and I was like, oh, and it gave me an idea.
Okay, and so now here tonight we are making that idea a reality. So we're going to shine the spotlight on some incredible local authors right here in our community. Did you know we had authors walking around, and I didn't even know it. Some of these authors I know very, very well and did not realize that they were in the process of writing a book or have written a book. It's pretty impressive, Very
impressive. I am aware of a few, but well, I tell you, Alice Moore, yeah.
Who knew, right?
Who knew, yes. I see her quite often.
Yeah, I know. So the thing about it is, as I kind of reviewed the books, they're putting out some really, really powerful work, some really powerful stories right here among us.
Yeah.
There are many, many powerful stories to be told. And in some cases, I noticed there's some powerful messages of transformation.
I saw the connection, and I think that might be something that Black women have to offer. I lived experience, okay? Because I saw that in all the 3 books that I reviewed. Yes,
Very
that
nice. So today's conversation, family, is special because we aren't just talking about books. We're talking about purpose. We're talking about healing. confidence, and the kind of wisdom that comes from lived experiences. And you're going to meet a great group of women tonight. So we're joined by 5 dynamic authors who have written books that speak directly to the hearts of women everywhere. So we're going to start out with authors Katrina Blanchett, who wrote Love and Me. And then there's Alice Moore, who wrote Alice's Family Album. Ursula Odom McLemore of Sula Too Publishing will also join us tonight because she was very instrumental in making those dreams of becoming a published author come true. And she does that. And we're going to hear a little bit more about just how does she make that happen. So let's jump
fantastic.
in. Yeah, let's jump on in. I love that for you. I love that for you.
Thank you.
All right. You want to start or you want me to go?
You could go.
All right, Ursula, actually, I want to start with you. You work with writers, and I'm going to look from my questions. You work with writers at all stages. What does it mean to you to help writers bring their work forward? Why is publishing local Black stories not just important, but necessary?
It's necessary because it helps us define who we are. Thank you. I'm sorry. Someone just came in and gave me something they thought I needed. So perfect timing. If not,
no worries.
Just sure I got some help.
Someone watching your back. I like that.
So I love doing what I do because I love seeing the faces of individuals as they get their books in their hands and helping them to understand that which they thought was ordinary and not important really is what our history is made up of. And you're going to hear that from both of the authors that are on tonight. Just living life puts them in a position to help other people in so many extraordinary ways, both on an individual basis and even a community basis.
I can really see that. I can see that.
So, Ursula, let me ask you this question because when you're saying that you help them produce, or is this what you might consider a ghostwriter?
Oh, it's so funny because I'm rebuilding or building my publishing site because most of what I've done has been pretty much by word of mouth. Yeah. And as I got to the part where it was saying I'm a ghostwriter, I decided to make it an angel writer.
Oh, okay.
And all this means is that I help people from where they are.
Sure.
The more you do, obviously the quicker we get to publication. No, that's not what I say, to be honest. The more you do, the less it costs. The more I do, the more it costs. That's what I really say. So I will start with you wherever you are.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. But I want to help you get your story out as quickly as possible. Because it's important to you, but later on, it might be important to countless people that you could never imagine that it would have affected. I know of at least one person wrote a book that because I told the story to someone else, it may have saved that person's relative's life because they recognized what was happening before their own eyes. It was about having a stroke.
Yeah, that is pretty important. But, for the guests that you brought with you, Miss Alice Moore and Miss Katrina Blanchett, how are you guys?
Hi, how are you doing?
Okay.
Well. So
welcome. Thank you.
And for any of you, what surprised you the most about the publishing process? Because I understand you're both first-time authors. What did you learn about yourselves through the process?
For me, I learned to be more patient with myself and to stop underestimating myself. Miss Ursula brought out things she tested me in ways to let me know, like, don't limit yourself. If it's something that you want to do, or if it's something that you want to learn, or you want to be better at, go for it. If you don't know, Google it, YouTube it, but don't have limits to where you can go.
Nice. Very good.
Well, my part is that she did encourage me, everything that I was telling her in reference to Tampa and some of the history. She had mentioned to me about doing a book, but it is learning about myself that I really had more knowledge than I thought I had. And taking the time to actually do it once I got started was hard to stop me. So, but I did not realize how much work went into doing a book. And the time that it takes to actually do that. So that's really something learning. Plus, I understand when people say it takes a year to write. I see the start, the stop, the thought, the process, and all of that. So I understand that much better. So I'm learning as well.
Well, I think that's
So
really
you
good.
guys will agree that it is important to have someone along the side with you.
Oh, yes. Yes, for sure.
I can't hear the other lady if she's talking.
Can you hear me now?
No, the Miss Judge, I can't hear her.
Oh, wow.
So in case she says something, I can't hear her, just so she knows.
Ursula, are you hearing me?
Am I? Yes, I'm hearing you. Yes.
And Alice can hear me.
Right.
Yes.
I'm not sure why. Okay, so Jeanette will only talk to her. Jeanette, let her know.
Yeah, we're not sure why you cannot hear her, Katrina. She just kind of did a quick assessment, and we're going to have to move on, and I will be asking you whatever questions. All right.
Yes.
But thanks for letting us know. We're so novice. We don't know what's going on either. So, but let me start with you. Your book, let's just talk about Love and Me. What a title. Nice title. And I'm going to have to ask how that came about. But your book takes readers from heartbreak to hard-won strength. What was the turning point in your own journey that made you say, I'm reclaiming my story?
I'm glad you asked. So in March, I lost my daughter. I had to birth her with no heartbeat. When that happened to me, I realized that I wasn't operating in my purpose. I realized that God was trying to get my attention. I realized that there's more in me. And things that I was supposed to do in the last 3 years, I've done in the last 8 months. So I had been stagnated and I hadn't been in alignment like I needed to. So once I realized that, and I ended up running into Miss Ursula, and I ended up sharing her, what I was going through with her. She said, well, let's get started. And I went through love, unconditional love. Love would test you. You'll think you love someone, but you don't realize loving someone with no limits is different. Loving someone, you could say I love you all day long, but loving someone with no conditions to it, it comes with tests. It comes with letting your ego and pride to the side and realizing, like, I have to keep you covered in prayer. I have to go to God and take this to God in the process so that I make sure I'm in alignment with what God wants for me, as well as I'm in alignment with how I need to move in my life. What God sees best for me. So once I lost my daughter, I realized that it was bigger than me. It was God he needed to use me to speak to those around me that he could not reach. And so then I had to realize, let's tap into this. Let me use my purpose and make it become something great.
Actually, you're pulling at my emotional strings. I almost feel like I need to go. And I appreciate you and this book. So Love and Me mixes honesty. And your honesty is just so pure right now. But with poetry, why was it important for you to share both? The unfiltered truth and the lyrical, emotional expression?
Because if I only give you the pretty side of it, and I only make you feel like love is just a glittery walk, then you won't understand there are other terms and twists of stuff that life can throw anything at you at any point. So if I just show you like smiles and glittery, you're gonna think it's an easy walk. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I have to show you the vulnerability of me, because you don't go through things for you. You go through them for who's coming behind you. So if I'm in a place where, let's say, someone comes behind me, or someone else could be going through this, but they're afraid to speak out, or they're feeling what I'm feeling and they feel like no one understands. Now you know someone does understand. Now you know you safe and someone knows where you're coming from. It's important in this life, I'm learning, is to have people around you that understand you or can relate to you.
That's beautiful. And Ursula, I am going to double back to you once I hear from both Katrina, and because I can't even imagine you helping to bring all of that to life for others. So Katrina, last question. So you write that our deepest wounds can unlock our greatest power. What power did you discover in yourself writing this book? And what do you hope readers discover for themselves when they read the book?
The power in me is to realize that set boundaries, know my value, know my worth, and don't settle for anything that I'm not okay with. If I'm not approving of how someone's speaking to me, how someone's coming to me, then I need to set that boundary and let them know I'm not okay with that. That's not the level of love, or that's not the level of care that I want to receive. And be okay. I can love you from a distance and I love you, but I'm gonna have to remove myself because I deserve better.
That is a hard lesson to learn. And most of us, even as old as I am, in my late 60s, I don't know that I've learned that. So that's a real big, powerful lesson. Do you have any question that I can convey, Mona, before I move on to Alice?
No, I what I'm getting from her is love is an action word, and teach people how to treat you. Very nice. Very and to let the readers know, because oftentimes readers, people would think no one is experiencing what they're experiencing. So this book is letting the readers know you're not alone.
Yeah.
So it's why it is always good to have these type of books out.
Yeah.
Speaking directly to us, from us as well.
Yes. So thank you so much, Katrina. I'm going to move on to Alice, and then we're going to go to back to Ursula, and the three of you are going to kind of talk to us a little bit together, and before we move on to the next segment. But Alice, I saw you the other day, and all of a sudden I hear in conversation that you're writing a book, and you started talking about you got pictures that nobody else has. And I was like, oh my gosh, Alice, you're writing a book? So so as always, I'm impressed. I'm totally impressed with you. So so your book captures Tampa through your family's eyes. And to me, that is so powerful. There's stories and photos that I think you said most people haven't seen, like that view of, what was it, Blake or
Thompson?
Yeah. Okay. Y'all were, Don Thompson, that nobody has seen. And it's like, well, why are you hiding these pictures? Because if Ursula gets her hands on them, I think that's all it wrote. It becomes a part of our living history. So when you look back at your childhood and your father's stories, what moments stand out as defining, not just for your family, but you think for the city itself?
Oh God, for the city itself, to see what it once looked like. A lot of people have no clue. I think with keeping the pictures, and now since you said that, it makes me wonder, why have I kept those pictures so long? There is so much about history that's not shown in reference to anything, especially like the school. In reference to my dad and I, Ursula, with all the stuff she's going through, made me realize how much time that he took with me, and how alike we are. When she was talking about crossing the legs, I never thought about that. I do it automatically. And in the pictures, you can see him sitting in the pictures with his legs crossed. So I don't know if that's an inherited trait or not. But in doing that, but it is. Say what?
Admiration. You admired him. You looked up to him.
Oh, is that it? I didn't know. But with the times, it made me point out how much that he did take time with me, and all the things in the book that I was listening that we did together. And just passing, seeing an old car not too long ago, just a few minutes ago before I came back. That's Daddy. I'm doing that. Listening around, looking around the area is so much social activity that was in the city. And all the ladies and all the people who were, I guess you would call it class or first class, or however you do that. You don't want to really make people think different, but how much that was highlighted, that there's nothing to really show like these ladies really did during that time. I understand everybody else and all that, but back then it was just totally different. And it was like really a top thing to be in the area. So doing the book, it's really, really inspirational. And Ursula encouraged me so much to bring all the pictures out and look for them and put them together, because I have moved them from point A to point B over the period of years. And I did take a few to turn into the library. But I'm pretty proud that I did this now. She really encouraged me to get it done.
So it sounds like your father's history anchored so much of the story, and what you learned from him. What lessons or values from him do you hope readers will feel or understand from this book?
Well, I hope they will be able to see, first of all, their memory of what the city once looked at, especially for the older people who actually attended Don Thompson. And I, as far as Dad, I really said the teaching, and she made me aware of that by teaching. I said, I hate when people ask if I was a teacher, but then he was a teacher and he did teach me a lot. But I hope this brings back a lot of memory for a lot of people during that time and that era about the school, that there is absolutely nothing there to show that this was part of a Black neighborhood and how everyone came together and all of that.
So let me ask you, what I'm getting, is this more like a picture album book?
Well, in a way, yes, but there's still a story with it. Yes, there's the pictures and everything, but there's still a story behind it. Yes. So and that way, all of
that is good, because for visual, we could pass it on to the next generation and keep adding to it. I really like that. I like that.
I have already been telling some of the young folks and looking at the old cars in the picture. And just the mere fact, they've just been surprised that that particular area even existed. You know, and it's amazing how many people don't even know there's a graveyard downtown. So,
well, and particularly with our history, you know, being erased at every level. And Ursula does such a great job doing the walls and these. I'm going to be interested in that. Yeah.
Well, so, you'll have to see some of the pictures.
Yeah, I can't wait to purchase the book.
Oh, thank you. Same for yours.
I want to sign it.
I'm definitely looking forward to actually both the books, because I think there's something to gain, and that's the beauty of the Black community. And that's what you're helping to bring out, Ursula, is the stories that we need to tell. Because as soon as you two were talking about Don Thompson, I guess I was either eavesdropping or part of the conversation, I don't know which. But when you said Don Thompson, my mother says that all the time. She's always saying, you know, back when we went to Don Thompson, okay, it's resonating and has a little bit more meaning. I'm going to give you one more question, and then we're going to pull Ursula in. So as you were putting this book together, were there any stories or photos that brought unexpected emotions? I could see the whole emotional tug of Katrina's book.
Yeah.
But even for you, were there emotions that were conjured up, pride or grief or joy or even surprise as you were pulling this book together?
Well, what I did notice, what I did feel, I kind of felt rather sad for my dad after my mom and dad both were from Texas. And Longview is a country town, and Marshall is a college town. And when my dad, when they closed, when they stopped the night program at Blake, because they changed in from Don Thompson to Blake, and they had a day program at night. When they stopped the night program, he wanted to go back to Longview.
Uh-huh.
And my mother, I guess, was not a country girl, and she said no. And I realized how he worked at home doing the mechanics and helped with the store, but I kind of saw the disappointment of him not being able to go back. And I think I can't say he might have lived longer, but he really wanted to go back home, and she did not. So it's kind of sad to realize now his deep feeling of wanting to return to Texas.
Okay.
So that was a rather sad moment a sad moment to think of that.
Yeah. I would imagine as we go back and sort of relive in our minds what was going on in our families, that certainly does create an emotional tug. So Ursula,
Yes.
you're dealing with a lot of emotions.
Yes, I am.
And
my
you're
own as well.
channel, right, and you're helping to channel that into such productive work. How was it working with these two brilliant young ladies?
Well, a couple of things. With Alice, one of the things I was just excited about when I realized what she had in her possession, and how important it was or will be to the community.
Mhm.
But it was her personal family story or memories, and I didn't want it to come across as if it was a history book. No, it's Alice's family album, and it just happened to have a few memories of Don Thompson. And when you put it that way, then to me, Alice owns it. It's what it is because it's hers. It's her family, her story, and a few pictures that the rest of the community will love, right? The next generation can take her book and turn it into this classical technical manual about Don Thompson if they want to, but it will start with her. She will be the catalyst for making that happen. And
Yeah.
I wanted her to own it and have history give her credit for preserving it. But we're not holding it out as a history book. It's her family album.
Yeah,
So
beautiful.
it's what it is, period. And I just happen to love it. And as for Katrina, I had this conversation with her relative to my relationship with Miss Doris Reddick. When I wrote her book, she would say to me, Ursula, I'm so glad that God put you in my life. And I say, I'm so glad that God put you in my life, Miss Reddick. And now I understand what Miss Reddick felt like. Because Katrina is just a ball of wonderful joy. In the midst of all of her pain, she's found joy.
Yeah.
And she's found purpose. And she listens. And if I say, go do this, she'll call me. Say, seriously, I stayed up all night and did this, and look what I did. Is it perfect? No. And I don't even care if it's not perfect. But the growth that she's going through, the enthusiasm, the fearlessness, and the sense of purpose is just wonderful.
It
So
is.
she's doing for me what I did for Miss Reddick just making me feel like there's a reason for doing all of this, And
Ursula,
yes.
on a personal level, how do you handle all of the emotions that the
Oh, yeah.
author is writing? How do you deal with that? Because sometimes, like I do hair, and when my customers come in and if they're in a certain way, I come home and I'm depleted because they are.
Well, maybe this is what God made me for, because I grew up as an only child, starving for conversation.
Okay.
So I just love hearing the stories. I love bringing them out. I sat at my grandmother's feet. My first book is at Sula's feet.
That's Sula's
That's
feet.
where I spent most of my life.
I think I got that book up here somewhere.
Yes.
Sitting and listening to my grandmother tell stories and listening to her relatives coming in, because she was the youngest of 7 siblings. So they all came to grandmama's house and I got to sit and listen. And I ultimately became the family historian because I knew all the stories. Oh, thank you. And I took that picture.
I got a lot of your books.
Look at me clapping this way. I should have had the clap. I should have gone down to the clap.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as she said it, I was like, yeah, I just saw that book.
Yeah. And that's my Alice's family album. Really, I'm telling the stories of growing up and the things that happened back in the day and how they impacted me, because I am the little girl that's in those stories. And that little girl grew up to be me. And those stories led me to be able to make a difference in other people's lives. And that's where my happy point is,
That's really
and it was a very, very interesting, good book. Yes.
Thank you.
So, I think there's a book in all of us, but the bravery that you two show, allowing your vulnerabilities to sort of play itself out on a white piece of paper is amazing. So I want to thank you both for coming. So we're going to close up this segment. And I want to pull up, and can you do this for me, Mona? Let's pull up Katrina's book.
Thank you, guys.
Love and Me. Can you pull up her book?
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead and pull up. So, first time author, I just want you guys to know Katrina's book is Love and Me, where she explores self-love, healing, and the emotional journey so many women navigate. So this is her debut with Sula Too Publishing. You can find this in our link. So if you are interested in buying this book, you can certainly find it in the link. I just think it's a book worth everybody's time to just kind of learn how to deal with the ups and downs of life.
Sure.
And our second author is Alice Moore. And it's Alice's Family Album. That is the title.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a beautiful.
We don't have
we don't, because she's hot off the press.
Right.
You can see a copy of a picture of the cover if you go to Ursula's History Shop and search for Alice's Family Album there, and you really should see that cover. I mean,
oh man, I should have.
I'm a man. Now, is she going to have a book signing? Some form.
Katrina is having hers on December 6th. Alice's book is actually in the process of being printed. I mean, we're going through the last stages of that. Hers probably more than likely will be the first of the year.
Okay.
In terms of book signing. Now, she may have copies of it before then.
All right. So
if Katrina is on December the 6th,
it will be at 2:00 at Ursula's History Shop on 1421 Tampa Park Plaza.
Okay, we'll add that to the description. So, and Alice's book is a beautiful reflection on family, memory, and the power of documenting your own history. That's beautiful. So, ladies, you guys were wonderful. Thank you so much for the time. Oh, you know what? I did not. I went and searched that out, and I wasn't even going to get it out there. Ursula just doesn't do publish books, but she has a real, I think, an array of services that she offers to the community. Ursula, do you want to just kind of talk about that sort of triangle of what you are?
Yeah, real quickly, at one point I went through a trauma in my life and I had to figure out who I was again. And I lined up all the things that I do on one side and if I still do them on the right side and if I wanted to do them, if I was making money with it. And I come to find out everything I've ever learned comes to pulling those stories together. And that means they just happen to come out in different forms. And those forms are books, legacy walls, videos that tell the story, and even live performances. So whatever it takes to put the story out is basically what we do. So the latest legacy wall that I did was for Bethune Apartments in West Tampa. And there is a bigger than life one with Mary McLeod Bethune and her statue. And then there are 4 other installations throughout the building that if you're in the area, those are the latest ones I've done.
Beautiful.
You're just awesome.
All right. So again, ladies, thank you so much for coming. I am so proud of you and I cannot wait to just really delve into both books and make sure I give them as gifts.
Thank you.
I appreciate
And
you.
thank you so much for having me.
All right, we're going to go to commercial and I think we will be good. Our first commercial.
Kids After School Garden Program in Tampa comes local honey inspired by young gardeners and the gardens they grow. Our 3rd and 4th graders learn math, science, and teamwork while exploring nature. Favorites like chocolate honey, Madagascar vanilla bean, cinnamon, and orange blossom are among 24 unique blends that customers can't stop talking about. Each one raw, natural, and locally sourced. When you buy Seafood Kids Honey, your purchase supports a local nonprofit organization that helps students. So this Christmas season, shop local and support young minds blossoming in our Tampa gardens. Order at www.cbexchange.org. The link will also be in our description.
Oh, wow. I love authors and I am a author someday. I just don't know when. And yes, I do have a book in process with Ursula. And she's been hounding me now for, this is year 2. I'm one of those people that, okay, Ursula, I'll get to it. I'll get to it.
As I was thinking last night, I think maybe before my daughter, I used to journal all the time, right? But I've never thought about becoming an author. But as my mother is getting, to the end of life, I would like to bring all that together. And I got that idea from Ursula to get books
plants the seed for sure.
Yeah, from future great grands that she will probably never meet. And that story could be lived on and told.
Yeah, yeah. But
I like that.
Another member of your family is our next guest, and Sakeya Donaldson, Flat Girl approved.
I just love her. I just love
one of the most favorite titles that I have ever seen. It's kind of like Flat Girl approved. Okay.
I just love me some Sakeya Donaldson.
I know, but I think a lot of us just love us some Sakeya, and it's not so much Sakeya, it's the life experience.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let her tell her own story, but it's the life experience. And then she keeps lifing right in our faces every day.
As she says,
what continent is she on? But she has a book.
She keeps evolving, but she keeps leveling up.
She has a book.
And I like that. And she has a book. Now this book.
Okay, I'm going to let you go ahead and leave.
We're going to tell.
Okay.
We're going to let her tell. I'm going to first, Sakeya, introduce yourself.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear, honey.
Well, first off, thank you to the We Are Black Independence podcast for having me and for honoring and recognizing national.
All right. You were not on cue, but okay.
I'm gonna try not to be an overkill.
Yes, for recognizing and honoring National Author Month and having me on. So thank you guys so much.
All right, well, we're gonna jump right into it, and I have a few questions for you.
Okay.
So tell me, what inspired you to write Fly Girl Approved? What moment made you say women need this? Because I can remember when I read the book, and I'm going to say almost 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, Jeanette.
That's a long time, Mona. That's a long range. It's either 5, 6, 7, 8.
I don't know, but I just said that was perfect. So tell me, what inspired you to write Fly Girl Approved?
Okay, well, it was 7 years ago when I launched it. Yeah,
what I said.
You said 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, but it's cool. It's cool.
That's in the range.
It's in the range. It's in the range. No worries. So at that time, I was working as a wardrobe stylist, and I was looking to transition out of like the day-to-day working in that space, but I still wanted to kind of keep my finger on the pulse of what was going on in the fashion world. And so I remember meeting with a consultant, and I wanted to get into like becoming an expert, right? Where I talked more about fashion and wrote more about fashion as opposed to actually worked in fashion. And so she told me, like, every expert has published work because that's something that lives on, after you're gone or whatever. And so I was like, okay, well, if I want to be an expert, I need to write a book. And so that was kind of the thought process about writing Fly Girl Approved. And then when I thought about like the framework for it, I wanted it to be fun. I wanted it to be aesthetically pleasing, right? I understand the attention span of people, is relatively short. The digital space was just really becoming prominent at that time, and a lot of books and publications and things like that were transferring to a more digital space. So I wanted to create something that, was short, to the point, and engaging. And so that's what I did with Fly Girl Approved. That was kind of my thought process.
Yeah, I could say you nailed it. You talk about confidence and not coming from what's on your body, but what's in your spirit. How does a woman begin building that?
Well,
the inner confidence.
Personally, I think that's a twofold question. So let's address it like that. So I believe fashion and image and branding and all the things that kind of go with that. I feel like that's a tool, and I feel like it's a resource that people should use to their advantage. I come from a family, where beauty was our business, and it really separated you, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. It just did. And so I think as women, especially as Black women, coming up, you had people that encouraged you to lean into that. And then you also had people that were like, that's vain. That's, that's not important. It's important for you to be smart. It's important for you to be a hard worker, in which that is true. But I'm just a firm believer that before anyone can learn anything about you, they already make a judgment on you based on your appearance.
And we can't have both. We believe that you can have both.
I firmly, that's why I said it's a two-part thing.
Absolutely.
I firmly believe that you can have both. And I feel like you should lean into both because like I stated, you know, people make judgments on you immediately as soon as they see you. Mm-hmm. So while you may pull them in with your look or your style or things like that, you still have to keep them engaged. And that's the part that comes from within, right? And so with me, it's more so, I like to call it stacking wins, right? And people always ask me like, you know, Sakeya, how are you able to keep going? And I just stack small wins. It's not this big over the top grand thing that happens. It's every day I try to do something to make tomorrow better. So if I go to the gym tonight and I burn 500 calories and then I go tomorrow and I burn another 500 and then the day after that, once I get to 21 days, now I've lost 5 pounds, right? Mm-hmm. And so I just think it's a compounded effort where, you know, you have to keep doing, you know, the thing to get you to where you desire to be.
I really love it. I wasn't going to go here, but when she said that small wins, stacking, and you actually have wrote 2 books.
Yes.
But what you are doing now, tell us about the title of the other book. But I'm really loving Science and Beauty. It's a brief on what you're doing there. I know it's all about authors, but Jeanette, actually, she have 2 books.
Okay.
Yes.
I only know Fly Girl Approved.
So let's go back. Let's just go back to Fly Girl Approved for a second. Okay. So when I wrote Fly Girl Approved, I thought about like a young woman looking to transition into the next phase of her life, mm-hmm. and what that entailed and what that looked like from an aesthetic side. Because, mm-hmm. you know, when I'm talking to people, I tell them all the time, like, you're a brand, whether you set out to be that, you are. Your personal brand is your personal brand. If you're a person that's dependable, if you're a person that works hard, if you're a person that smells good every time you come into a space or a place, those things become your personal brand. And so people would always ask me, you know, as a stylist, like, well, Sakeya, what are some things that I can do to change my style, to upgrade my style? And so that was kind of the thought process about developing Fly Girl Approved. And so what I did, I have a copy of it here. And so what I did is I took every letter of the alphabet and I wrote about something that a fly girl should possess or have, right? So it's 95% fashion, but we sprinkled in some life things as well. And so like for V, I have a vision board, and I had this amazing designer, Kalichi. He actually did my illustrations. And so a vision board is very important to a person that wants to accomplish things. I'm a very visual person, and I find myself putting things on my vision board and then just kind of, it not being in my peripheral. And then I'll look up and I've accomplished it. And I'm like, wow, but I believe that it's because I embedded that in my mind so much that I subconsciously, succeeded in doing the thing without even really realizing it. And then for like P, I wrote about passports. And to me, like passports are the gateways to your imagination, right? Like it opens the world up to you. And that's one thing that I love to do. I love to travel. And I just feel like it's something that every person should experience. And so for like a fashion item, like for J, I wrote about jeans, right? Because just when you're building your wardrobe from the beginning, a nice classic pair of jeans that make you feel good, that make you look good. You know, they're imperative for your wardrobe. So that's kind of like the premise and the thought process behind Fly Girl Approved. And then about 4 years ago, I released Fly Girl Quotes, which is here. And so I'm a writer. Like, I have notebooks everywhere with, you know, my daily tasks, just notes. I'm a writer. And so my reasoning for doing that is I always think about, like, if someone got a hold of my notebooks and they look through them, would they see that this girl is serious about what it is that she says she wants to accomplish, right? I'm a highlighter. I love to go through my notebook and see things checked off and highlighted off and things like that. And so Fly Girl Quotes is 50 affirmations that I just, you know, I live by. And so, like, for example, can't stop, won't stop. It just is what it is. We're gonna keep pushing, we're gonna keep going. And then there's also like a space here for you to journal and kind of write your own thoughts. Another one here, put some action behind those prayers and watch your life change. Because, you know, we all talk about manifestation and journaling and praying and all the things, but at the end of the day, you got to put some hustle behind those prayers. You know, you got to give God something to work with. I always say that you got to give God something to work with. And then another one, fear and faith cannot occupy the same space, right? And so, you know, you can't worry, you know, if you have faith, you know, and I'm a person
that we have a talker.
What? You're telling me we have a talker?
We have a talker. She took command of our. You're supposed to. I'm waiting on you, Jeanette.
And I'm totally intrigued with, you know, I'm gonna have to get both of your books. Well, who's your target? Is your target young people or just everybody? Because, you know,
I feel like there's something. I feel like the demographic are just women, you know, women looking for a way, women looking for an outlet, women looking for motivation. I would say that would be the target.
Okay. Very good.
The particular target I would say, Jeanette, would be young ladies going off to college, just starting their careers, not overspending, saying that they, you know how when you go buy a whole lot of stuff, this book tells you how to start off the things, essential things that you need. So young females, and then older females when they want to change or upgrade or level up.
Right. I feel like I want to get this book for my nieces.
For your nieces, absolutely.
But let me ask you, you teach that being fly also means raising your standards. And we're talking in friendships and relationships and how people treat you. Yeah. That's important.
It's extremely important because, you know, it has to be boundaries. You know, people are habitual line steppers.
And you know, you got to be short because.
Yes, right. She's on me. I'm on the clock. And so I'll live by the term, like, you can't be upset with people for things that they do that you haven't told them bother you. Right. And so I'm very, you know, upfront in what my expectations are in friendships, business relationships, personal relationships. And, you know, it's okay to walk away. It's okay to disengage. It's okay to love people from a distance, because at the end of the day, it's about self-preservation. So if things aren't serving you, and if you aren't moving in a direction that's favorable to, you know, your goals, then it's not something that you should really spend your time with. I think we all know, you know, you're the sum of the 5 to 10 closest people to you. So if those people aren't being productive, and those people aren't pouring into you, and those people aren't, you know, rallying you and carrying you to where you need to be, you know, you cut those people off quickly.
But you also have to make sure that you are being those things as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. You can't ask for something that you're not
giving. Right.
Yeah,
Very
for sure.
true. Because otherwise, we do know people like that are very selfish, and it's all about me.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
So
Last question.
I'm going to give them the book. It's like, you need this book.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
okay, last question, and then we will bring the book back up. And okay.
Mona cut me off. I was in the zone.
I know.
Totally.
Give me 3 habits of a fly girl that any woman can start practicing today.
Just 3 of them.
Inspire, create, disrupt.
Inspire, create,
disrupt.
Disrupt?
Yep.
Oh, disrupt. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I like all 3 of those. Inspire, create, and disrupt. I like that last one.
I like, yes. Tell us about what you got going on. I know it's not part of it, but you have for young girls, Science of Beauty.
Yes.
And about the event coming up.
Okay, quickly. I'll chat about it. So aside from me being an author, I'm also the founder of the Science of Beauty, which is a STEM program that I do with African American girls ages 10 to 17, where I introduced and exposed them to STEM careers that exist in the cosmetic chemistry space. We started here in Tampa about 4 years ago doing annual summer camps. This past summer, we actually embarked on an HBCU tour where we worked with Spelman College, Xavier University, and Fort Valley State. So we were really excited about that. But due to the scheduling of those programs, we weren't able to do any programming in Tampa. And so I really wanted to do something here in Tampa. You know, I can't forget about my people. This is where it started. This is where it was birthed. This is where it was nurtured. This is where it grew. So I'm going to be hosting a 3-day winter camp, December 29th to December 31st here in Tampa, Florida, at Salita's house. And I'm just really excited to work with the girls, teach them about body care. We're partnering with Sephora and L'Occitane. And so I'm really excited about the girls coming in this winter on their break and experiencing the Science of Beauty.
So if our listeners are interested, tell us how we could get in contact with you and follow you, because the schedule and everything is on your.
Yes. So you can visit our website at www.thescienceofbeauty.net. There's space on there talking about the programming, all the things that we've done in the past, future programming, registration, our impact report, things of that nature can all be found on the website.
Perfect. Sakeya, thank you for joining us.
Let me get my applause.
All right.
I love it.
Thank you, ladies, so much for having me.
Thank you.
So much
and likewise, follow us and promote and subscribe to our page.
Definitely will. You guys have an amazing holidays.
You do the same.
All righty.
Bye-bye, Sakeya.
So that's my one of my favorite nieces. All of my nieces are fantastic. Our next author, Jeanette, I've been knowing her for some time.
Okay. I just, is this who it is? Because
yeah, it is. It is. And I think I was just on Facebook and I saw it come across my page and I was like, wow, look at God. And I sent her a text and she said, absolutely. So Dr. Patricia Hauser, let's bring her up.
she is up.
But she's up. How are you?
She is up.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for joining us tonight. It is great. I went through the book. Tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Well, I grew up in Sarasota, Florida. I was born there. And then I moved to
Mhm.
Tampa to pursue my career. I was headed to be a doctor of medicine, either obstetrics or pediatrics, and ended up falling in love with ministry, but still pursuing that. And finally, God made a decision for me, and that was to pursue ministry and not medicine, but they both heal.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Thank you. So we're going to jump right into it. Um, what inspired you to write the book?
Well, first of all, let me say thank you for having me on tonight, and congrats to all of the other independent writers that you had before me.
Yes.
One of my favorite scriptures comes from Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me.
Yep.
Yes.
And what inspired me as African Americans and myself as a woman, Black female, have always been told that we were less than
Mhm.
and what we could not do. I
Yeah.
just remember my high school counselor said to just be a good secretary and
Right.
not worry about going to college. And
Mhm.
so that kind of pushed me to move past that.
I
So
love that.
every obstacle has always pushed me past what
Well,
I
you know, sometimes that will have the opposite effect, particularly on us. So that means you had either you were strong, you had a nice village, push you forward, because we see that happening even today to try to deter our children from being great.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
has always been the case for us. But your title, "You Are Made for More," that says everything, you know. Um, but from what I can tell, it's a motivational and spiritual guide centered on purpose, resilience, and the power of pressure. So, tell us a little bit more about this book.
well, just the title pierced my spirit. And to wait, the wait for more, the appetite for more. It wasn't money, it wasn't possessions, it wasn't recognition, but it once you it's like this. People don't know their why.
Mhm.
And when they don't know their why, they don't know their way. But if
Yeah.
they can find their way, they will find their path.
Yeah.
So the more is encompass of your purpose, your impact, your fulfillment, your growth, to have more love, more peace, more joy, more of everything. But it's already inside of you. It's
Do
a
you
journey.
think
I'm
do
sorry.
you think that comes with age, maturity?
I think it's already there. It's already planted within us, and it's for us to discover it
Mhm.
and then grow with it.
Mhm.
There are many times of different aspects of life
Mhm.
that you encounter. You either embrace it, you face it in order to fix it.
Yeah.
But you got to have faith in God. You got to believe it, that God has given you potential to be more when He has created us. We are masterpieces.
Yes.
And to let nothing and nobody dispel that, because that's truth. That's foundational of what
Yeah.
God laid on us. Not
Yeah.
to be mediocre, because we're very significant as females, as males, as children. So I'm hoping my book will inspire just not young adults, but even our older community as well. Because some people still haven't found their why or their purpose, and it's never too late.
Absolutely. And we see that with Alice Moore, writing
Yes.
her first
Writing
time
her
author.
history.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's never too late.
So, Dr. Hauser, you write about comfort and that it cannot develop certain qualities. I'd like you to explain that.
Well, to take the easy road, what do you learn? But when the road is hard or when the wall is tall, you learn how to walk through difficulties. Comfort is very good, And I made a quote the other day that pruning is not God's way of punishing us. It's God's way of making us fruitful. So even in times of hardship, distress, and struggle, it's not comfortable, but once you come through it, you are fruitful in that area.
Yeah. That resonates with me. Mona, you know how we talk about our generation and how we were too comfortable. We've been too comfortable, and because of that comfort, because it seemed we didn't really push the way I would say the previous generation did. We're here where we are today, and that line tells me that what comfort cannot develop certain qualities, and here we are today because we went and got the corporate jobs, or we went and got the jobs and we lived our life and we thought, okay, we've arrived, but we've never really arrived. We just got too comfortable, we being Black people. So anyway, I thank you for that. I mean, that by itself for me is worth me getting that book and just finding my way.
I think we hear people that they say, well, I'm going to the next level, but they really don't understand what the next level is.
Exactly.
It's more pressure that will bring more joy. Yeah. So comfort is not a place where we should get comfortable in. And then pressure never allows us to be comfortable because it's pressure. It's going to produce something. What's in you is going to come out.
Okay. Beautiful.
Wow. So when someone finished this book, what is the first practical step you want them to take?
Rediscovery of where they are, perhaps, or where they have been trying to go, what they have been trying to do, and then develop a plan and do it.
You're just dropping all kind of gems here tonight for us.
I know. It's kind of like, man, I got work to do.
Yeah, but these are all good discussions we can have tomorrow with our families. It is definitely people we know that need all of these books. Yes. So if you had to sum up the book, the message in one sentence, what would it be?
In one sentence?
Yep.
Or two. You could take a paragraph.
Well, don't allow what your past has done to affect your future, and then work towards your future.
Don't allow to let your past affect your
future.
Yeah.
Some people think that.
Do you think it's just that easy? Because I do meet people all the time who constantly struggle, and I know you, by profession, is a pastor. And you guys say that all the time, but it isn't that easy. So how do one do that?
Well, first of all, prayer is very important. And to have confidence in knowing that your spirit can be healed in order to help somebody else. We go through a convoy of things in life, plethora of things in life that's not really about us, but it's really about somebody else.
Right.
So your pressure, your pain, your heartbreak, your disappointment, whatever that might be, it's just foundational to build on in order to help somebody else.
Yes. I hear you, because I'm always saying, if we could just let it go. Forgive yourself, basically. Yeah, very good. Anything else, Jeanette?
I think that is it. Again, another book that definitely hit somebody's stocking stuffer, because I think that the biggest message that I get is to let go of that past and build the future, or don't let the past dictate the future. That's an important note to end on, I think. So thank you so much.
Can I just say that my book is ready to be purchased, and I also will have a book signing on December the 21st
Okay.
at New Direction Ministry at 6912 East Sly Avenue in Tampa at 5 p.m.
I know exactly where that at. You could give us a closing remark, and also, can you put it in the comment?
Would you like me to put it in comments?
When you're done, yes, you can put the address, and I'll put it in the description as well. But tell us, give us a closing statement.
I would say this: more than just your past failures give you an indicator, but more of your present limitations are defined through your past failures. So you can go over the hill with that.
Okay.
Just take the leap out into the light, and that light is Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
You really did that.
My mistake.
So we have one more guest, and
It is not the last, but the best. Let's play her ad first.
I knew you were going to say that. So what I'm doing right now is looking for that beautiful ad that we have been playing all month.
I know, and I don't see it. Okay, so I'm gonna go and bring her up.
Yeah, bring her up, and then we will play it during the course. So I will look for it.
Okay. Dr. Lauren Huff, thank you for being patient.
So patient.
Welcome to Blanchett. We are Blanchett.
I really enjoyed hearing all the authors and their stories to the reason
all of you
why
guys
they wrote their books.
Are fantastic. When we and we tried not to make it too long, and we picked you guys, and so now we're gonna. I think at the end of the month we'll do children authors.
Oh,
let me welcome you correctly, because I just love me some Dr. Huff.
And you love that little button too, don't you?
You know, I just found it last week, and you have to have a reason to do it. And I was like, oh, I have to remember to do that.
These are good reasons. These are excellent reasons. I love all of the authors, and Dr. Huff, thank you so very much for coming on. And I
think we might have had too many people. Did you find her book? I don't even see the cover of her book. And Lauren, I don't know if you've been really following us, because we've been playing your ad, and you're one of our sponsors. You're one of two sponsors. And so we've been playing it every week.
Yeah, I'm finding it strange that I'm not able to find it, but why don't you go ahead and ask questions, and I'm gonna look for that ad. Okay.
So why don't you introduce yourself to the audience and tell us a little about the book?
Sure. So I'm the founder CEO of a 501c3 nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Daughters Need a Father Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We advocate for girls growing up in father-absent households, and we do workshops with single mothers to help their daughters reach their full potential.
Yeah, because we've always thought about having someone like Big Brothers and things for guys, and we never thought, even though we have big sisters, I think what you do is something totally different. Yes.
Yes, when I was a child, I had a big sister. So my father was incarcerated the first 10 years of my life.
Yeah.
So my mother, she got me a big sister. But the thing is that she couldn't really relate with the things that I was going through of not having the father in the home.
Mm-hmm.
She really couldn't empathize. Her father was very present in her life.
Mm-hmm.
And so with my organization, I have the lived experience My daughter's father was murdered before she was born, so I also saw
God.
the way the things that she had to go through without having her father. When I wrote my dissertation, I studied women who were fatherless and who were still struggling as adults.
Right.
So I not only have the lived experience, I've also done research this population.
Right.
So many women, because I didn't really even know it was an issue, suffer in silence. To you and I was talking, I think maybe maybe 2 years ago, we was at Middleton for something. Why do you believe so many women wear emotional or spiritual masks? And what does it take for them to take those masks off? How
Okay.
would that book help?
I think a lot of women do not go back and look at the root of the problem. With me, when I was going through life, I chose poorly when I chose a partner. I did not have that male in my life to show me how a woman should be treated. I didn't have that male in my life to show me how I should value myself. And so I made horrible mistakes in choosing partners.
Mm-hmm.
And I think women need to acknowledge that the reason why I am in the situation I am today is because I did not have my father in the home. And if you think about society and how we are taught to whatever happens in your home stays in your home, we're not really taught to talk about things or traumas that we experienced. So I think that a lot of women need to go to therapy. I did. I went to therapy, 4 different therapists, till I finally found the one therapist that helped me to heal. And it wasn't until I was like maybe in my 30s that I finally healed.
Because do you find that in particularly in the African American community, I don't know how old you are, but like my age, it was really taboo for therapy because, White parents didn't really believe in that. And I think this generation, people are doing more. And you have a lot of more Black therapies, because I couldn't see myself going to talk to someone who don't look like me either.
Yes. One of my therapists, she was Black, but the other ones were white. And it was actually a white older woman who helped me heal.
Yeah, I had, I'm going to, in my 30s, I also sought help from a therapist, and she was white, Judy Dvorak. And she gave me some really great books to read, even some just novels. But I found her to be extremely helpful because I was going through what I thought was the imposter syndrome. And I was rising professionally in corporate America, and I kind of felt like, okay, am I supposed to be here, right? And am I fooling everybody and just rising? And so I had to seek some help to get my mind straight so that I could function at the C level. So I think therapy is important, but I remember not really sharing that knowledge with a whole lot of people. I knew I needed help. I needed to talk to someone. It couldn't be my family. So yes, it doesn't necessarily have to be Black. But at the time, I don't know of any Black therapists, and this was, some 30 some odd years ago.
Right.
So, but I haven't experienced anything other than a white therapist.
Well, I do know that it is a lot of Black female therapists here now, yes, and local. So, and I am glad that we should encourage our young people or anybody who needs help. Yeah. And it's not something that just happens quickly, like a 6-week session. I know people in therapy for years. So that's good.
Let me know if this is too much to ask. Dr. Huff, in your journey, what was the hardest truth that you had to face about yourself before you could heal and move forward? You don't have to answer, but
no, I don't mind. I don't mind answering.
She's wrote the whole book.
Yeah, I'm very transparent in the book. I tell pretty much everything that I went through
Okay.
life. But to answer your question, I think that I had to acknowledge that I had a problem.
Mhm.
Just going through life, just trying to pretend like I was confident that I had high self-esteem, and
Oh,
I really
wow.
didn't.
Powerful.
Yeah, so I really had to first acknowledge it and seek the help. And with me, I did not grow up in the church. I didn't go to church on Sundays. My mom was a Muslim, but once I was born, she stopped practicing. So I didn't actually get saved into a church until 19 years old. And so when I was researching the women in my dissertation, a lot of them said that what helped them was their faith and just being resilient.
Okay.
But since I didn't have that faith part, it's something that I learned later in life. But
Mhm.
now that I do have a personal relationship with God, I do also credit my faith that
Mhm.
allowed me to heal.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You
So,
know, before you ask another question, believe it or not, you guys, I did find the video.
well, perfect. Yeah.
All right. So I want to play your commercial and then we'll continue asking questions. Let me grab it. Here we go. All right. There we go.
Feel like you're stuck in a situation, whether it's a relationship that's draining you or just feeling like you're not where you want to be? We've all been through that. Dr. Ellen Huff's got 2 books that can help you navigate through that. When the Mask Comes Off is real, talking about what it's like being in a toxic relationship, the red flags you ignore, and how to finally step out and get back to you. Then, I Choose to Be Victorious is all about shifting from the broken place to a stronger, more empowered version of yourself. It's about choosing a new story, no matter where you've been. Both of these books are for anyone ready to break free, heal, and start living on their own terms. It's not about where you start, it's about where you choose to go next. Make sure you check out those 2 books in our link in description. We highly recommend.
Wow.
So,
Powerful.
I've seen it.
which book was first?
I chose to be victorious. I wrote back in 2016.
Mm-hmm. And that's when you acknowledge that you had a problem, and that's I think that's the first thing we have to do, right? Is acknowledge, because we sometimes we could live with the lie, or I don't know if I would call it a lie, but we could live and we could just settle. It's hard to bring it to truth, or to acknowledge it, because now you have to do something about it.
Right. We live as Dr. Huff said, we pretend. We live in this sort of pretend world that we feel like we have to live in, and keep up the pretense.
And it can be so stressful.
Yeah. And some people, they struggle through life and they don't understand the root cause of it. So you have to do your work. You have to try to figure it out. I literally was maybe in my early 20s, and I would go to a movie and I would see a loving relationship with a daughter and father and would cry.
Wow.
And I did not understand, like, why am I crying? They're just embracing. And it all stemmed back to, I knew that I would never have that.
Yeah. And look, my father died, and I could almost, I know, not almost, I do know what you're saying. My father died when I was 13, but we had him up until then, right? He was an excellent father. I say he was Mr. Mom before that even became popular, because my mom did hair. So he was the one who took us to school in the morning, took us to Girl Scout meetings in the evening, on the weekend, and all of this stuff. But it does every now and then when certain things come up. But my mom brother, he just embraced us like his kid. And he had 6 boys. So he took on my brother and so we was his daughters. And when I got married, he gave me away. All the special things in our life, he was there.
Yeah.
So, but you still do, and I see where you're coming from. You miss that my daughter, will never know my dad. So, yes, it's I don't know. Well, let's jump into something else. What would you say to someone who who is feeling defeated right now? Because we know that the holidays, a lot of people suffer.
Yeah.
So what would you say to them?
I would say that as you grow, you realize that things are temporary. This will pass.
Yeah.
You may be feeling sad today, but then tomorrow or next year, you're going to could be feeling something completely different. So try not to focus so much on the right now. I know a lot of people who feel defeated because of their circumstance, but things could change for them if they just choose differently. That's why I titled my book, I Chose to Be Victorious. Because if you read my story, I should not be where I am today. And I look at my siblings, they didn't have their father in their life either. So two of my sisters, we have the same father, but then I have three other sisters. One of my sister under me, her father was murdered, and then my two sisters under her, their father divorced my mom, and so none of us grew up with fathers.
I was like, Dr. Huff, I tell you, I mean, wow, that's a lot of trauma for young people. And I don't think people really understand not having fathers, but having fathers taken away through murder and the circumstances that you experienced as a young girl. That is, wow. I don't know that.
Where did you grow up at? What city?
I was born in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was saying that with my sisters, if you look at them, none of them are married. They were married, but the marriage was unsuccessful. And it has a lot to do with the attachment patterns that you form in infancy. The relationship you have with your primary caregivers determines the way you interact with other people.
Yeah.
And it's called like attachment styles or attachment patterns. So if you don't develop secure attachments with your primary caregivers, then you're more likely not to have secure attachments in your adult relationships. That could be professional or it could be romantic.
No, that is true. And I realize
I think I should talk with you offline. I'm like, oh my God. I never married actually, but I do say to people, when people try to attach more than I'm comfortable with, I'll say, there is a reason that I am single. There is a reason for that. So that they understand it's not you, but there is a reason why I chose not to be attached to someone. So I love what you're saying, and I would imagine there are more people out there that need this, your book, and to read through it and then find themselves in the healing that happened to you, because it can happen for, I think, all of us. But we have to first decide, this is what I need to change, or this is that hurt that was never healed.
Yes. And I always want to help people who feel stuck, help them work through that.
So I was going to ask you that. Do you do like seminars or workshops, or do you come and talk to maybe to the churches or different organizations? How do you do that?
I'm always available to come speak to people. I've actually partnered with Dress for Success. I just spoke at their professional women group.
That's really awesome.
And so so I'm really grateful for that partnership.
Yes.
But sure, if you know anyone that I could come and speak to, I'm available, more than happy to. Life is so short, and you should be happy and should be living your best life. So if anyone's stuck, just let me know and I'll help you work through that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Final question. Looking back over your life, what would you say victory look like today compared to what you thought victory meant years ago?
Okay. So before I thought victory meant education. I went and got a terminal degree because I felt like, oh, maybe that will bring me happiness. It did not bring me happiness.
Mm-hmm.
I thought happiness was money. I had my dream car, my dream home at one point, but still miserable, depressed. And it
Oh my
wasn't
God.
until I started doing work on myself
Yeah.
that I found true happiness. I walk in my purpose with my nonprofit. Helping other people makes me happy. And just victory is peace. I have peace now.
Yeah.
And that's worth more than anything.
That's beautiful.
I'm gonna bring
That deserved a clap, and you didn't even make the clapping sound.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna bring Dr. Hauser back up simply because what we're hearing tonight is materialistic things do not make us happy. It's good to have. Now, I'm not saying it's not, but what you said, you wanted this, 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 and like I know so many people who have everything, but they're not happy. And I was with my mother. She has Alzheimer's now. She's getting to the end. She's always in good spirit. And she told me, and she's always dropping nuggets sometimes. And she said, "Are you happy? Be happy." That's it. And when I was driving home, it just kept playing over in my head. And I am, because I really don't care about, I care about stuff, but peace of mind. And that is what I'm getting from Dr. Hauser and you as well in these books. So I'm thinking these are going to be extra special to give out this year because we're also focusing on shopping and buying Blight.
Yes.
Not overspending. Don't go spending money you don't have. But these, and both of the books was priced really nice. All of the books actually. So we can give multiple gifts to our contacts, our groups, and people who we think that will benefit from these books. All right, last word for both of you guys.
So again, Dr. Huff, I'm going to get your books. And I would love to have you come and speak to our young adults and our teens. So I'll just put that out there because I think it's very important. Even with our spiritual, we do have to mend our emotions and our psychological, mental, to be healthy individuals. And then to understand that when we have problems in life or when we have struggles in life, or we have, things we don't appear that we can handle, being overwhelmed, we have to know that there's still more in us. And that's why God allowed us to go through whatever it is that we're going through. My other very favorite scripture is Romans 8:28. And we know that
all things
work together for our good because we've been called and because we love Him. So even from molestation to being accused of something that I didn't do, all of that, I still knew that there was something more in me that I could give. And until the day I leave this earth, I'll be out giving it out, living the more.
Give us the address to your church because there might be some people in the audience that's looking for a church home as well. And 88.5 on Sunday mornings, the hours for
I do that. Yes, on Sunday mornings from 6 until 8 a.m. every Sunday. WMNF here in Tampa. Yes, and you can also stream it live at WMNF.org.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Facebook Live.
I've been doing it for over 25 years. I know for a long time.
Yeah, I have not known that.
And I've been pastoring now for 24 years. So my hands are full, but I love it. There's nothing that I don't feel that I can't do because I motivate myself to know that God gave it to me. So if He gave it to me, I can handle it. The church is located at 6912 East Sly Avenue, Tampa 33617. And I will have my book signing on December the 21st at 5 p.m.
It's at 6912 East Sly Avenue. It's right here in the chat. So thank you for putting it there.
Yeah, and we're gonna attend that. She's a powerhouse preacher. I don't really do church, but I do enjoy going to hear her. Yes.
Thank you.
I shall make it my business. And you do, Dr. Huff, have an invitation to go speak to those young people in. Yes, that's wonderful.
And also come out to the book signing. We're gonna make sure that all of you guys are at the book signing. And I think that's good. December the 21st. I'm gonna remember that because that's my wedding anniversary.
Oh, okay.
You know what I learned from you two ladies and from the ladies earlier, as a community, we are enough. We are enough. We can reach out and help each other, especially I think through the next few years. It's going to be tough in our community with all of with the rising unemployment. And but we are enough if we reach out and we help one another. So I thank you guys for being here tonight. It's been really eye-opening, and it's just been you've laid it's on my heart at this point in terms of how do I stay connected and how do I continue to learn from you. So
okay, so you do the applause because I don't see it anymore.
You don't see it anymore because they said enough already. But I am going to do the applause.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Good night.
All right. Good night.
Have a nice Thanksgiving.
You too.
Yes. Oh, that was awesome.
Oh, I'm telling you, my heart is full with the stories that they have and what they've shared about themselves. Because Black people, we typically don't tell our stories, especially the ones where we're hurt.
Yeah.
And we keep it a secret. And as Dr. Huff said, we then go out and pretend everything is okay.
You know, we say, when I look at a lot of my elders, my seniors that I do, Black don't cry, which it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But that stress has eaten us up inside.
Yeah, it really has.
The burden that you carry, the just generational stuff. And, you know, not even realizing the importance of not having your father.
Mm-hmm.
The importance of all of the stuff that we have to carry. So, yeah, we're going to have to start a book club. We're going to have to start some things, and we're going to have to let some of this stuff off our shoulders. It's too much weight.
But I guess I want to say to the authors, I just want to take just the moment to thank each of them, and also Ursula as publisher, who you see how she meets you and then encourages you to, if you just tell a snippet of your story, she then helps you make it into a book. Yes. And that's what we're missing. We're missing all of the stories, past and present. And so what she's doing is just a service to the community. I think their voices help encourage us. And, you know, even tonight I'm listening and saying, oh, and I started reaching back in my own life to say, why is it that I stayed detached? And make a major commitment.
And even when she was talking, I never realized, because anytime I start thinking about that, I just push it away, right? Because it is what it is. So I don't know. So this is what you think. I think this has been a powerful author spotlight.
No, it's been really, it's really up there.
Yeah, and I'm so glad. I didn't know what I was listening to, but I was driving in. You know, I have a pretty long commute, and it was saying that November is National Author Month, and I was like, oh.
Then you call me up and says, "Hey, we should do authors."
Yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
today, you know, we just heard why writing matters, right?
Yes.
And why stories matter. Even the one that Alice Moore is going to put out. I'm going to particularly like that.
I cannot wait to see the
Because
picture.
I was trying to create something like that for our family, but I wasn't trying to do it in a way to sell it, but just for all of my nieces to have, and for them to, when it's time to journal about me, my sister, and my brother, for the next generation, just to keep adding to it. That's how I thought about it.
Yeah.
Because my grandmother, you know, her mother died in birth. So I don't even know her mother. She didn't know her mother. Nobody ever talked about it, you know?
Yeah. Even through ancestry.com, my cousin, one of my cousins, she does a lot of the research on our ancestry. And through that effort, I worked with her for about a year or so. I found out that my grandfather on my dad's side was from the Bahamas, period. I had no idea that I was attached to, I'm a Bahamian, at least through my father's father. We had no idea.
Right. So, your father didn't know?
If he knew, and he's not with us anymore, but if he knew, he never told us. And his name was.
Never told your mother?
No, she didn't know either.
Oh, wow.
So, but my mother did know that there was this strange man that used to come to his mother's house because he went off to the army and she had to stay with his mother. And a strange man would come all the time and sit at the kitchen table and whatever else. And she never really knew who it was, but my name would have been Sweeting, but it's Bradley, and that's my grandmother's name. So it's really it's weird. It's just weird, and it's like, how do we not know that for all of our lives? And I'm 60 years old before I realized that, you know. So anyway, history and stories are important, folks. And we are most fortunate to have, even among ourselves in our own community, those who are willing to tell the stories, even those stories that were very, very hurtful, and that they've been able to triumph over. So thank you for this segment, Mona. It's a really good segment today.
Yeah, but we have to make sure that they work. It's purchased. We have to make sure we support them, celebrate them, and improve. It's everybody is into self-help, and I'd rather get that from somebody that looks like me. So, you know, I'm just that way. My whole life has always been just.
I'm totally supportive of that.
Everything, but like, so, you know, my doctor, I feel.
Find yourself a Black therapist. I'm with you on that.
Everybody, those people understand me, and I'm able to, you know, relate to them. So yes, we'll make sure that all of these books can be bought on Amazon, even though we're boycotting Amazon. So I'm going to go to Amazon and buy the books. I'm just not going to go any further.
Why don't you just buy it from them? Is there another way to buy it?
I don't. So
for the next
Hauser will be, if she's doing a book signing, she will have theirs. But these other people, I'm sure they don't have them.
Okay, you're right. For everybody else,
get a way that we
at least buy them after December 2nd, because there is a blackout. there is a blackout for major corporations. If you're going to buy small. And the information is in the chat. Seek these people out. They're here local. But if you're, seek them out. But, you know, I'm a big proponent of the blackout that started yesterday. If you're going to shop this weekend, blackout for Black Friday. There's a blackout for Black Friday, and this will take us all the way until December 2nd. So Cyber Monday, still no shopping. If you do shop, buy black.
Yeah.
Buy small. Or if you're going to the markets on the weekend, buy small. Stay away from Target. Stay away from Walmart. Stay away from Amazon. And I know there's a lot of small businesses on Amazon, but seek some of these people out. I'm sure you can contact them direct. So anyway, 5 days. And after that, do what you got to do. But I haven't shopped at Walmart's for now over a year, November.
So you ever was a Walmart shopper, but I was at Target. I haven't shopped at Target. And you know, I haven't missed it.
I did miss Walmart because when I'm going to buy snacks for the kids, Walmart's on the way, go pick it up.
Now you just go to BJ's or Costco's.
Now I go to BJ's and Costco's, yes.
Because Sam is, we're still boycotting them as well.
Sam's is a Walmart company, yes.
Yeah. So, well, family, we'll see you next week. Stay grounded, stay informed, and stay independent. And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. All right, signing out.
Signing out.